Greetings, kinfolks or kindred spirits. I have to remember to call you kindred spirits because I learned there's a popular YouTuber who started using that. So I didn't want to be accused of taking something away from someone when I've been doing this since I started making videos. Well, actually, I've been seeing it. Anyway, welcome, kindred spirits. I need to learn to stop explaining myself, which is a journey, when you've been in the habit of doing something. And for those who are new, I welcome you too. Just want you to know and always remember, I don't care what you see, what you may think, what you may perceive or process, but hear the words that are coming out of my mouth, because sometimes we have to repeat a book, a video, to hear everything. But my saying is, I'm not here to make you think like me. I just want you to think. So I may give you some ideas. I may present research and share some of my experiences just to trigger your own authenticity or to trigger your spirit and soul to assist you with your own creation. So you may have to repeat that if you didn't get that, okay? All right, so before we begin, I want you just to take into consideration, if you like the information that I present to you on this platform, if you want to truly understand and understand what my information is about, I just stated, I am helping to heal, to teach you the things I use to self-heal. So my journey is also to help trigger some things within you to self-heal, and maybe you can pass it on. So hopefully, if you value this information, you would subscribe, hit the thumbs up or like this video, and share it with those you think would enjoy my information. All right? So now, let's get on with the video. So hopefully you can hear me very clear when I present this information to you. So this video today, I'm going to do my best to present my findings, my research, my experiences, my ideas based on epics. Some of you might just figure, oh, they're just episodes. I'm not going to give too much information in this or in these episodes, but if and when you have questions about what I am presenting, I welcome you to email me or put questions down in the comment section below this video. And I'll do my best to accommodate you with some answers. And if I don't know, I'm just going to say, I don't know. Okay, because I'm not I don't want to say I'm not an expert, because just because I may have studied neurolinguistic programming, which is a psychiatric on-hand study or experiments and findings and research based on self-healing, and neurolinguistic programming has been used in many different ways, okay? So I want to read to you, okay, so let me not move too fast, okay? So the topic today is creating a new life for yourself. Epic number 1 is self-study. And I find it very important to focus on yourself, and you will understand why later. But I want to share this quote with you that you'll see here on the screen off to the left. And it says, "Dear you," yes, you, the one reading this, Stop being unhappy with yourself. Stop comparing others with yourself. Stop expecting more from others. Stop trying to get attention from people who hurt you. Stop blaming yourself each time. Start learning from your flaws. Start accepting your mistakes. Love your quirks. Love your imperfections. Collect experiences. Gather memories. Life is short. Learn from life. Love your life. Appreciate your life. And based on this quote, I hope that you will reflect more on yourself. And as I stated, I want this series to be considered epics based on self-study. Self-study may even involve lifestyle, communication, and community. But as I was trying to say earlier, I'm not going to put too much details in it because I also am a life coach and counselor. And I welcome you to schedule some time with me through my email that I will put at the end of this video and in the description box, and other contact information so that you may schedule a one-on-one session with me. I also do events where I come and speak and share my knowledge, which is research and experiences with a group of you or in a group setting. Okay, so let's continue. So my story based on my family, relationships, and children. So let's start with my family. And I'm not going to stay on this topic too long. I just want you to get the big idea or just to see the big picture, okay? So within my family, I grew up with my grandparents. So my grandparents raised me. And everybody have their traditions, how they're used to being raised or what have you. So let me just give you a little bit of an idea. I grew up, of course, in a religious household. If you want to know where my parents were, I never knew my father. My mother gave birth to me in her teenage years. She was still living, but she was in a relationship living off with someone else. Just from her story and why I was with my grandparents, just hearing my mother's side, she just felt like that my grandparents wanted to raise me. And because she was young, she felt like they didn't want her to raise me. And based on what my grandparents felt, they felt like her lifestyle and the people or person that she was involved with would not be conducive to a good upbringing for me. And the type of discipline that I got within my household, I got whippings. Now, I wouldn't consider them at the time growing up, even as an adult, I didn't consider them being abused. Based on how they were raised and how people within my community that wasn't in my family, as well as other family members, that's all I saw. Okay? So we have to be mindful that, people outside of our culture, and even people within our culture who wasn't raised in my home, we can't be too judgmental. All we can do is overstand. And if there is some healing that needs to be done, then we have to start with wherever we are, no matter where the age, person we are or place we're in. All we can do, we can't go back and change the past. All we can do is make some corrections so that we don't repeat the past, okay? So also my ideas of relationships came based around my upbringing. So my upbringing, when I got to the awareness that my grandparents were my grandparents and not my parents, I realized not that I was broken, but I realized I wasn't raised in a home with my mother and father, okay? And what I've seen growing up based on people's relationship was what I thought relationships to be. As far as raising my children, I raised my children based on what I thought was right. But as I came into an awareness, certain awareness as an adult, I wanted to change those ideologies and traditions and trust. My children felt some kind of way, and how they felt, I cannot go into how they felt. I can go on based on what they've told me, what they show me, but what they truly feel, you have to, or they will have to be able to defend themselves. So in relationships as an adult, as I look back, when I was in my 40s, I started to realize, well, dang, you know, when I really tried to get into what I thought was a serious relationship based on an organization that I became a part of, and that's how I met someone else that I got involved with, I started to realize I was toxic. I noticed there would be some things that I would do to get attention or to test them by getting their attention. It was kind of toxic. Well, I don't want to say kind of, it was toxic. But I did not realize that until later on. And the fact that later on I was able to realize that was at that moment, I needed to structure my life differently. And mind you, even though I may have realized it, I said my 40s, I think it was earlier on, I started to realize. I cut off relationships. So most of my 30s, I went without being in relationships. I may have dated here and there, but I was also came into the awareness in my late 20s, I needed to work on myself. So it was a journey for me, okay? And based on some life challenges, as I stated, I realized I had to work on it, and I'm still working on it, okay? And just because you think a family outside looking in is the example of a family you want, you don't know what they went through. A couple outside looking in may be the greatest, but you don't know what they're going through, what took them to get to that point. And if they're still considering moving forward, because nowadays, when you look at a couple and you decide that's the couple you want to mirror, and a year or two down the line or later, they break up, and then you become disappointed, you should not have based your goals, your life, based on somebody else. It's like what I said in the quote, about comparing yourself to others. We got to change our mindset and how we process. Just because you was brought up a certain way, if you was brought up in a bad home, does not mean when you become an adult, you have to continue that tradition on. You can start self-healing or just healing. Some people need other people's help. So even though I sit here and say that you can self-heal, some people would prefer a mentor, a coach, a counselor, therapist, psychiatrist, something, an animal. When I say animal, not to say the animal can talk back to them, but sometimes people come in contact with animals. You don't know the type of spiritual, mental, emotional connection that can be healing as well. So there are different processes or ways and things and devices and stuff that you can use to do that. And I'm going to get into that. So let's continue on. Hi, I'm AnitaYarbrough. Can we talk? I see you're having challenges finding your life purpose. OMGs. These challenges are signs, symptoms, and synchronicities that are about releasing self-limiting beliefs as you spiritually awaken and heal. I can relate too, because I went through it. So, what I did, I took ownership to self-heal my life. It wasn't serious enough for a doctor. It wasn't mental enough for psychiatric help. It was more real than hallucinations. I almost thought my life was over. After many years, I didn't even realize I had been suffering with limiting beliefs that caused me to self-sabotage opportunities as I journeyed close to my life purpose and mission. I had no one to turn to for guidance at the time I started experiencing spiritual awakenings, and as I needed to realize how to heal outmoded traditions. These experiences came with spiritual depression, excessive dreaming, feelings of insomnia, being out of touch with my reality, etc. I lost job security, friends, and some of my family turned away from me. I then started doing my own research. That's right, I was seeking hard to understand why all of this was happening, and intuitively, I knew I needed healing. So, after all the hard work and research, I came across some methods I tested on myself to gain control and ownership of my life. Well, with a few simple steps, I blew my own mind. You hear me? It took almost 3 months before I started to see some results. I also used my gifts of dream analysis, invested some meditation time, and some divination tools, which acted as a guide spiritually to decode patterns and messages from my subconscious thoughts to gain some clarity. I also studied and learned to use the science of psychology, NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Program, where these simple questioning principles help me understand how limitless I am. And with this process, I began transforming and seeing results of my authentic self. Since we all are a reflection of one another, I realized that What's true for me may also be true for you. I mean, if I can self-heal, so can you. The previous methods used is a part of my limitless methodology, which I am most grateful to guide you through. The research is already done for you that I've compressed into a system of techniques and models which you will use as guidance to transform your life. Also, keep in mind, when it comes to fully healing, it can be a lifelong journey, as I am still on that path. But I am willing to utilize my time with your patients to help you get the same, if not better, results with this program using services I offer as a holistic healing life coach and counselor. All right, now, before we jump into it, you must understand a consultation will determine if we are a good match before moving forward with your transformation process. If you're ready to align your visions and take ownership for your healing process, then I am ready to be your coach and or counselor. You may contact me at any of my social media platforms, which you will see to the left at LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or just send me an email. Again, I am AnitaYarbrough, your holistic healing life coach and counselor. I welcome you with open arms and hopes that you embrace a new way of healing, starting in a new era. I hope the best for you and enjoy the rest of your day. So, I'm going to make something very clear here. And let me just say, there is balance in everything and all of nature. Meaning there's a positive, there's a negative, there's a good, there's a bad, there's a heavenly, there's a hell, but it's all a state of mind as well as energies. Sacred powers and mysteries are given to both good and bad. So I found that in religion, me growing up as a child, there were certain things I came across and I thought it was evil because I was told it was evil. Not realizing that, for example, this pen is not good nor evil, but whatever energies or being that gets a hold of it can use it for good or bad. The creator of the pen may not have had any bad intentions, may not have any good intentions towards it. They just created it because it was something needed. And based on our own path and journey here in this avatar, this being, okay, because there are a lot of us that don't believe that we have a spiritual life outside of this body. Some people feel that once this body is gone, that's it. Nothing else exists. And for those who have had other experiences where they can account to knowing that there is life outside of this body, this avatar. Okay? So, whether you may consider something to be good or bad, just understand a good person can cross over to bad, and a bad person can return to good. And this is why I say there is balance in everything and all of nature. So as you can see, as with the picture that I depicted to the left, it says in perfect balance, the yang universal divine male omega force intellect, which represents intellect, thought, activation, dematerialization, conquest, control, projection. And the yin universal divine female alpha force, which depicts or defines as entropic change, sensation or feeling, physical materialization, conservation, and potential. So the yang energy may represent the positive aspects of energies, and the female or the yin energy may depict the negative side of energy. Does not mean that it's bad or something evil. It's just energy. And these energies, okay, when we were created, male and female, created he and she, they and them, meaning male and female energies come together to create from within. You can create utilizing the balance of the masculine and feminine energies. I don't mean another life, but you can use your creative energies to bring forth different types of creations from within yourself. And together as a man and woman, and according to nature, for those who know, even whether you are a male and male, or a man and man lover, or a woman and woman lover, there are those amongst that community that know in order to create life, they're going to need the opposite sex in order to create. And as far as birth is concerned, you know, some people say that a doctor is the one who claims or gives you a gender status. No, because there's more to it than just looking at a child and claiming that. Because there's x-rays, internal organs, things that you are born with that operates in a certain way. And just because this status is labeled, it was something that came down that was taught to us from the beginning of time. Something that we sense, that we know that we're different from another, that we can physically look at another and know there's a difference, and even attract one another. But we also know over the epochs of time, through evolving, we have learned things about one another and ourselves that we realize one is capable of doing that the other isn't. One is capable of ejaculating sperm cells, whereas the other one is, whereas the other being or gender ovulates eggs through a process of ovulation where it travels down through a certain organ, just like for a man. His process of ejaculation and what he feels is different from what a woman goes through as far as our ovulation process or during our monthly cycles. Now, there are people out there, based on your genetics, based on whatever is going on inside the body, they just, you know, whether it's the man who can't ejaculate and may not have a healthy ejaculations to create life, or whether it be a woman who can't ovulate and process or produce an egg where she isn't able to create or assist in that creation of life. But that does not take away from who you truly are, because when we leave this world and archaeologists dig our bones up, your bone also tells the facts about what your physical makeup is about. Now, you can pay an archaeologist to lie. You can pay anybody to lie, but the facts will still remain, whether you want it to be or not. So psychologically, whether you go to school and get a PhD, psychologically, physiology, biology, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, there are still facts that remain. Whether I word it in English, Mandarin, Spanish, Arabic, Hebrew, telepathically, the facts is still there. Now, there is something that is going on where it has been stated there are women, biological women, who's being unalived and organs taken out of them because it was paid for to take their organs, their reproductive organs, to be utilized to claim, so they can claim, so another gender can claim to be a natural born, something that they weren't. So I'm just putting that out there for those who aren't aware, for those who only get their information from other media sources, and they're not letting the world know this. I don't mind letting you know this, because there are things that people aren't aware of because they don't utilize the internet. And even though a lot of my information do go on the internet, sometimes some people happen to come across the internet. This is why I encourage sharing information if you find it valuable. So make it your business to focus on the studies of yourself. Get to know yourself. This will also help you to mind your business and realize the supernatural adventures awaiting your exploration. This keeps you out of a lot of stuff that you don't need to be in. And a lot of stuff that we find out about ourselves, in this day and age, a lot of people put a lot of stuff on the internet. Of course, I've heard this stated over and over again. But there are a lot of things, maybe half some things, we should just keep to ourselves or amongst our loved ones out of respect, unless our loved ones want to bring stuff out about themselves, to each their own. You have the rights to that. So what I open up about on here and someone has something to say against it, or they disagree in their opinions, they have all rights to that. And all I can do is just see the comment of their opinions and respect that. I respect your opinions. What I'm not going to respect is the disrespect and how you give an opinion. There's a way of doing things. There's a positive and negative. It's based on how you utilize that power of positive and negative. Okay? It depends on who is utilizing the force, because it can be used either way. Are you processing that? How you use information. You know, some people can manipulate the information for bad, or they can manipulate it for good, or they can manipulate it and utilize it together in unison and in harmony for both positive and negative to come together to be utilized for the betterment of us all. Okay? So remember this. Because what's coming up next? Some of the self-study ventures I have used, and I have used them all, not necessarily a pendulum. I mean, I have used the pendulum, but I don't use, I probably only used it just trying it, just to see what it would do, just to get a yes or no, just to see what it was like, you know, just to try it. But just know, no matter what tools you use, because I don't use a lot of tools, because I just feel like some things, you know, I know we might ask, well, Anita, don't you think there are some things that aren't meant to be used? It depends on a person. I feel like no matter what is used, it is how it is used. So who am I to say a person isn't supposed to use something? I like to say maybe a gun shouldn't be used. But in a matter of life and death, you know, you don't, I mean, I don't know. I don't even want to even say to use that to protect. But in some situations, especially to protect an elderly to protect a child who can't defend themselves physically and fight back, or a woman who can't physically fight back, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong. It really depends on the being and the situation or what have you, because even with some of these divination tools that I have used, there are more out there. That's why at the end I put etc. Because there are other things that people use. But just know, for those people who are listening to this and you're very religious and you're looking at something and you think, oh, it looks evil. Okay, so people who wear black is a color. And some people, some other cultures, or some people even within my culture might look at me and say, oh, she's black. Why do we symbolize black as something evil, especially if you consider yourself black? Think about that. And why is white is considered good? And when you really look at different people on this landmass that we call Earth, I promise you, I've never seen any person walking on 2 feet that is really the color white. Now, there have been some people you may have thought they were very black, but it's a color. It's not who I am. My hair is black. But what is within me amongst a culture of us or amongst my community, because some people may not consider themselves a part of my community, but I have dominant melanin. Now, how dominant it is, it may not be as dark as the darkest person or community of people on this planet, but it's still considered melanin. And it is active melanin, or I would like to say it's not in recession. It's not recessive, okay? It's not going against me. Because if anything, when I'm out in the sun, I get darker. I don't get sick, okay? So again, these are some of the things that I have used. I have used other methods to get to know me, to understand why I think the way I do. Okay? So yeah, I go into quiet meditation. I will do a prayer to ask for assistance. And I use prayer just to communicate. It's just a form of communication. I know I put the art of asking, but I could have also said it could be an art of communicating to my inner self, my higher self, my spirit guides, my ancestors, the ascended master, to communicate to water, to fire. Now, some of you might think, oh, she's gone crazy. Where's an institution? But a lot of people have been labeled. You see what I'm saying? How we label people. Just like some people think those who change their sex is crazy. And even though my eyes has popped like that, it just may be something you won't do. It's something I probably won't do. But it does not make it good or bad. It's just something you decide upon yourself, you feel or think is best for you, or I felt was best for me. And you just got to respect that. As long as I'm not trying to influence anyone outside of myself to be and do the things I do. I know you may ask, well, have you tried to tell your children growing up to do? No. I gave them the freedom to open up and talk, to express themselves. And if they see me doing something or have seen me doing something, and this is something I did do, allow them to express themselves. So they had the right to question what I do. And I did my best not to force anything upon them. Notice I said I did my best. So if in my best at that time may not have been right for them, they know now as an adult, they can do what they feel is right for them. Because as parents and guardians and protectors of children, our responsibility is to nurture and give them the basics, because we can't give them everything. And don't expect your children to learn everything from you. That's why at certain ages, they venture out. When they get to the point where they're able to go out and experiment with nature and things happen, we do our best to protect our children. We do our best to protect our elderly. So these are just some things to take in mind about the responsibilities as parents in giving life. We only take life when we feel, well, not all of us. Some of us sacrifice another life for food. And it might be a sad thing to hear. But let's talk about it. Because it's out there. There are things that we consider so dark, in the dark. How about let's not say in the dark, because we always talking about it's black or it's just hidden. Things that people don't talk about because they're embarrassed, because they know the world isn't ready to accept that. But so much in this world is being exposed now. And the universe, the divine, the greatness, the source of all is now ready for those who live upon the earth landmass, is ready for now. It's time for us to evolve. So good and bad is coming out. So why feel ashamed of it? It has to come out. And if it's not meant for the betterment of you, then it's time to change. There's nothing wrong with change. And some things have to come out. So a lot of some things can stop. Some things is just what they say, going overboard. Some things aren't meant to consume. And how you know, based on you and your body, you know. Some things that were created just shouldn't have or didn't need to be created, because it's not to bring about harmony and peace. Now, who am I to say what's not meant to be? Okay? Who am I to say? Who's to say what you've always thought was good really is bad? And what we've always thought was bad truly is good. This is why it's time for change. This is why things are becoming exposed. There are things that's right in front of us that we don't even see. And I'm not saying because it's invisible to everybody's eye, but even that which is invisible is becoming visible based on your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical growth. So with these tools I have used, this helps to better understand your mission, or it helped me to understand my mission okay? It did. Even right to this day of what I'm doing on here. And I am not here to say that I am fully healed. It's still a journey. I don't care if you're a billionaire. There are some billionaires out here doing some things that's not good for their own health. It's detrimental to their health. And a lot of them don't get to enjoy their wealth because they weren't mentally and physically aware of what was good for that part of them, that physical body and spiritual body. These tools I also use, and some others, even journaling. I should have put journaling there too as well, because some people find that scripting is a divination tool to heal. Writing. It also helps to see blockages that needs to be released. Remember and be mindful, you're in control of your life when you stop blaming your parents, your peers, your friends, strangers for your downfall. Once you are aware, you become obligated to you and responsible for you. So even if you don't want to self-heal and you seek out someone else for help, remember, you are allowing someone else in. They're not obligated. They're not obligated to do what's right for you. Some of them are doing what's right for their pocket. Some of them are doing what's right for their soul. To each their own. So this helps to better understand your fate and see how to reroute it also. That's what I've done. I utilized this. I got to a point where I was reading astrology, doing numerology, and even I'm reading these things, even about my zodiac, you know, and I'm like, wow, okay, well, okay, this is what I do. You know, you read the positives, you read the negatives. Remember, you know, there's a daylight side to you, and then there's a shadow night side to you. You know, you can use, and it's not to say that negative side of you is going away. Sometimes that negative side is utilized as a protection. You know, have you ever heard the child in you? You know, there's some things about your childhood that you don't ever let go. And to protect the inner child, we do things instead of just allowing that inner child to overstand on how to change it so the inner child can bloom and grow. Okay? So you utilize these tools. Once you learn about these tools and you start to learn things about yourself, use those as forces of change to better yourself. You have the power and control to change your life. Again, hear me out. I am still on my path. And you may think, well, who gives me the right? Well, while I'm on the path and I'm walking and I am evolving and growing, I want to help while I'm on the path. Everything I learn, I like to share as I am learning. I learned something and and it feels good to me and I think it can benefit you. I want to share it with you. If I experience something, I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. I'm going to share it. But just because I'm sharing it doesn't mean it's for everybody. Only those who can relate. That's why I say kindred spirits. Because not everybody is my kinfolks or they kindred. Okay? But there are those who out there who understand the mission. We know that this isn't a lifelong journey. I'm sorry. we know that our avatars isn't here forever, but the journey is a spiritual, ongoing journey of growth and evolving. No matter where we have our experiences, we leave this dimension, the earth plane dimension, to move on to another plane and to evolve and grow there. I know I want to evolve. I don't want to just get caught up with just what's here. I want to enjoy it, but not to the detriment of myself and others. I want to be able to help myself. And if there are any, even if it's one or more than one, billions and trillions that I can help, I want to do so. If they can relate to it and build off that to help themselves and find their own creativity. Sometimes you see another person doing something. You like what they're doing, but you want to be authentic with yourself. You tap in and find your own creativity and do it your way, or find different ways to do it. That's what this journey is all about, is finding your space, finding your way, realizing your authenticity and what you have to offer and bring. I know y'all say, dang, you talk about the same thing all the time. Repetitiveness, is that a word? Repeating stuff. Sometimes you have to keep hearing it and hearing it for it to click. Because sometimes you don't hear a thing. Like there's some people, I was watching a video earlier, and someone said that, certain things about fashion, they don't mind when it has a certain level, when it's talking about certain things that adults do that should not be imposed on children. She stated that. Okay? But yet someone later came and stated that she was being offensive to certain things this adult like to do. And she had to restate, I stated it's okay for adults. You see what I'm saying? So some things you have to repeat because people don't hear it. People hear what they want to hear. Just like they probably didn't hear me say that. Okay? So that's why it is good to repeat things. Because I know sometimes people say, watch this video again, because you might get the message. Because you may not hear all of the messages you need the first time. And sometimes I'll be like, I got it. Because sometimes what I'll do is I'll stop and rewind while I'm watching the video. Sometimes I'll be led to rewatch a movie. I'll be led to reread a book. I'll be led to go back and repeat. So it's very important, and understand when people get kept back in school, it was just something they just didn't grasp. And not everybody is cut out for school. As we're coming to realize, there are some people who are becoming their own success story without it. Am I promoting and telling people not to go to school? No, because I'm saying what's meant for you is meant for you. It may not be meant for everyone. Do you know what the word school means in Hebrew? It means hell. So when you send your child to school, the word school comes from the word shul in Hebrew, which means hell. So consider where you're sending your child to. Ain't nothing wrong with home learning. You heard the word I used, home learning and home teaching, being home taught. Ain't nothing wrong with that. People used to have a problem. I remember the Prophet Muhammad was taught by his mother. And people who later on, or even within that time, from what I learned about the Prophet Mustafa Muhammad Alamin, was he had the lowest of education or learning. But if the mother, gave birth, she is always the first teacher. If not in some people's lives, some people don't get that opportunity to be taught by their birth mom. And, you know, I can't say, well, I've been that person, because at the time of birth, when I left the hospital, I left with my grandparents, as was told to me by both my mom and my grandparents. So, hey, there you go. Some people lose their parents, unfortunately, which is an unfortunate situation. And my heart goes out to you, you never get to see. I never got to see and hear the voice of my father. Don't know what he sounds like, don't know what he looked like. But am I going to be sad about it? All I can do is heal from it and understand my relationships towards men. When it comes to relationships, other men try to make a woman feel bad because she didn't have a man growing up in her life as a biological father. Sometimes it's not always fortunate. There's different strokes for different folks, so you don't know their path. So to even be judgmental, I noticed growing up, as I was judging people, that judgment was coming back on me, or what they call karma. It was coming back, teaching me to shut up, because it taught me to shut up, because when I judged another person and I had to walk in their shoes and go through similar situations, if not the same exact experience, it taught me better. Okay? Tread lightly. So this also helps you understand why you're drawn to certain subjects, types of people, places, things, and or situations once you start to truly learn about yourself using certain tools. I'm also say interaction with people also help you learn things about yourself. Why you attract certain subjects, why you're drawn to certain subjects, why you're drawn to types of people, types of places, things, and or situations. And if you don't like these things, how can I change that? How can I bring about a better life? How can I change the life that I'm in now? I'm going to say this, there are some days when I enjoy doing this. I enjoy sharing my research and experiences. But sometimes it becomes discouraging when, I don't get the feedback. When I look at other influencers or other people on this platform or different types of platform, and they are getting a lot of feedback, interactions from people. But like I said, I'm on this journey, even though you hear me saying something like this, and I just spoke on not comparing, I have to consistently every day to remind myself to stop comparing myself, which is a way I encourage myself to keep going. And even if I have those in my ears whispering, you need to stop because ain't nobody watching you, and you only got one person watching you. It's like I said, if it's only meant for that one person, but really it's not even about the clicks for me. I truly am into holistic healing, coaching, and counseling. I would love to develop it as a business. And I also introduce some of the other skills, gifts, and talents that I offer. Some things I am not going, certain skills and gifts, I guess is for me, really, for real. You can't tell everything that you do, you know? I only utilize those things when needed. But what I am here, what my mission and purpose is, I want to feel like I want to be able to say in my retirement, I don't regret. There is no regrets because I was able to do it. And I'm doing my best to challenge my fears. When I say challenge my fears, overcome them. I'm doing my best. I promise you. It's a journey for me. There are some fears I have overcome. And this is one of them, coming onto a public platform. So I have to, you can't just sit back and keep watching other people do it. At some point, you got to do it. So it's not about putting it into act. It's not about just watching somebody else put it into action, but it's also about you doing it. If you don't understand putting into action, just actually doing what it is you truly love to do from the heart. Your passions, your love. And I'm not saying your obsession, because, some people, what you love and what you obsess with, I think is, but hey, I'm not giving energy to anything that I wouldn't give energy to for myself. Okay? But I'm not judging anybody else that do any thing outside of that. Just as long as you're not doing harm to yourself or others. Keep that in mind. Hear that part. We want to keep the peace. Okay? All right. I hope y'all heard that go. Nobody coming back at me. Oh. Because just because I am who I am today doesn't mean I am going to be who I am tomorrow. And I pray with the most humblest, loving, deep down of heart, I just get better in love unconditionally. Continuing to love myself. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? So also with this knowledge, it can help you better understand and know what you're capable of in this lifetime. So if you feel you didn't become a Superman or a Superwoman and flying with a cape on your back in the air, when you look at your alignment for why you came here, your makeup, spiritual makeup, mental makeup, emotional makeup, your number makeup, whatever makeup you call it, and whether you realize it or not, or let's just say, put it like this: what if you created a blueprint of what you will do when you come here? Think of it like that. It was your blueprint spiritually before you manifested or came into being as a physical being. Okay? So it's all about cracking your own code, learning about yourself, understanding and overstanding life adventures that await you, knowing that you can explore life and adventures in your life peacefully, in harmony, and in love. For me, as a melanin woman, and for those who want to call me the brown woman, the black woman, the dark woman, whatever, my intentions and in my heart, I came to do it in peace and with love. Yes, with compassion, But just know my shadow side ain't gonna take no BS. Okay. If I come in peace and I have to defend myself, I pray to the Most High, my highest self, Elyon, Elyon, El, my spirit guides, my benevolent ancestors and ascended masters, be at my side, the trillions and trillions of forces with me, defend my peace, my love, my harmony, my rights, my being, my life, so that I can, with all respect, without regret, I can complete my mission and purpose. What I say is what I said, and I said what I said. It shall be, it will be, it is, because I am. All right? So, thanks again for the love, for the support, for the understanding and the overstanding. And if you understand, I'm here to help you up and anybody else. Even if you decide I am not the one to assist you in your journey, as long as you take it upon yourself, the responsibility, because see, I'm not here to make you lean fully on me. I'm here, the nurturer, the healer, as a mother, a sister, to hold your hands, to teach you how to crawl, how to walk, then just to let go so you can do it on your own and rely upon your inner guidance. And whatever other guidance that's here from within and around you that comes with unconditional love. Remember, I'm not here to make you think like me. I just want you to think for you. Use your own common sense, what's best for you. You have to do what's best for you. You're not obligated to no one, because you got to be in your right mind. You got to heal yourself. You got to be doing well. Because if you're sick, how can you help someone to get well and you're not well? But if you're on that journey and you see that you have cured past colds, past flu, past measles, cured your cramps, cured your Alzheimer's, or whatever other illness and sickness there is, share. And if I am able to share my knowledge, experience, and research that I have used upon me, Anita gonna be like, read all about it. Read all about it. All right, I gotta go. Okay. All right. Continue to vibrate towards your highest frequency in harmony and in peace. Hi, my name is AnitaYarbrough, and I am your holistic healing life coach and counselor. I bring to you today my signature programs based on healing transformations that align purpose. My first signature program, self-authentication based healing. This paradigm shifting and transformative based program is designed to share life experiences due to the changing times we're in to assert your self authenticating willpower. In this program, you will learn the importance of healing to help lead the way towards understanding a new age mindset that promotes creative, holistic living for unlocking your purpose. Transform and align with your purpose in any area you choose. Within these changing times, by trying a new approach to tasks and or activities to gain courage and confidence. Feel free to accept the changes in the world and experience the new, real you without judgment from yourself and others. Learn to accept uncontrollable circumstances. Let go of the past and activate a new you. Overcome blockages on your way towards your newfound freedom after attending this life-changing presentation. After this program, you will be able to learn the difference between using logic and intuition, understand how your belief systems influence your authenticity. Learn the importance of balancing your light and dark psyche. Use mental and emotional coping techniques to transcend traumas and pain to start the healing process. Gaining self-acceptance to heal through self-talk and expression. My second signature program is lifestyle-based healing. This life-building and knowledge-based program is designed to help you succeed in the next phase of transformational growth during these changing times to enhance your development. In this session, you will learn how to tap into your natural survival resources and following the intuitive influences that open your eyes to new pathways of living, achieve greater results, and supercharge your mission by creating a new lifestyle. You will come to understand how to discipline your body, your mind, and spirit to prepare the unexpected and expected changes in your life, inside and out. Inspire others to do the same. Become efficient and improve functionality after this enlightening presentation. After this program, you will be able to learn what your limits are towards change, learn how to replace unwanted habits with better practices, identify your stress triggers and traumas, to make changes and self-heal. Learn about inner and outside influences that affect your lifestyle. Understand how good health practices establishes great wealth to enhance a certain lifestyle. Learn the importance of your survival and creating your new life and what it takes to sustain a new lifestyle. Expose your toxicities before incorporating new lifestyle changes. Now, this third signature program is my communication-based healing. This mind-enriching session will teach you how to express and communicate your thoughts and feelings. Demonstrate many ways to communicate your subconscious mind to gain control of your life. The strategies in this portion of the program will fine-tune your communication skills within these changing times by using your childlike imagination to promote healing and find your confidence to better express yourself. Learn how to analyze the communication style of others, which better helps with understanding how to communicate. So after this presentation, you will be able to achieve a life of mastery that is limitless. So after this program, you will be able to learn to listen to your true voice, to break your own hypnotic spell, learn importance of self-talk, creatively express your imagination, to welcome in the healing process, learn and understand different communication styles, find out how to communicate commands to your subconscious mind to create change. Now, this last signature program is community-based healing. This approach into the community dynamics during these times of change will alter your reality to identify patterns in situations and know when to seek solutions. Learn the positives and negatives of comparisons and judgments that are used within your environment or community. Learn tactics to break away from the trends within your environment and community that are presently not realized as mind control tools. Learn manifestations for your ideal environment or community, which can influence and become impressionable to others. Before this presentation ends, it will empower your every move. So after this program, you will be able to understand how to manifest your needs and wants, recognizing patterns that will create solutions for a better change, learn how to recognize individuals of bad or good influence in your space, understand how making peace with yourself can become a masterpiece for an ideal community, create better habits and practices that will help you attain the peace you so desire, and design and create a space that cannot be compared to others. I would like to thank you for taking time out in your busy day and joining me or sitting with me in learning more about my signature programs. As I always tell others, I am not here to make you think like me. I just want you to think. Again, thank you and have a great rest of your day.